Hi everyone, this is Aaron Constantine.
And this is Celia Foster with Return to Oz, the movie doc.
We hope everyone is doing well, and we are so pleased to present to you a series of programming in Return to Oz, documenting the history and the behind-the-scenes look on the making of the movie of Return to Oz, which was filmed and produced by Walt Disney Pictures in 1985. I hope you're doing good today, Celia.
Yes, I am.
Good. We've had quite an interesting time recently with things going about Oz recently, haven't we?
Yes.
Yes.
Very much.
Yes, we're planning a big festival type Wizard of Oz event coming up here in South Carolina. We're doing this weekly programming, and we're going to get a lot of fans interested in our work coming.
Yes, we are.
Yes. Do you want to just quick mention, just really fast, everybody, before we get started with the program on about that?
Yes. It'll be in August, and it'll be kind of end of the summer sort of event. And I will be there, which is going to be very interesting because it'll be the first time I'll speak professionally about it. It'll be my first appearance, which will also be really special. And we're just going to have a lot of performers and people. And we're going to watch both movies, both Wizard of Oz and Return to Oz, and we're just going to have a good old-fashioned good time.
That's right, we are.
Yes.
Celia, what is going to be spoken about today?
Well, I thought I would get into the claymation aspect of the visual effects and talk about the Gnome King.
Okay.
This week, so.
Okay. Well, good. That would be great. That would be interesting to hear from you on the perspective. So, interesting. Okay. Now, I think for one, and obviously we don't want to sound like anyone's dumb, but for most people, they listen to these programs because they're entertaining and they're fun to listen to, and I personally listen to them back because I want to make sure professionally I'm doing a good job, and I'm sure Celia does as well, but they are entertaining, and in that sense, I think, Celia, you should first give what is the official, or at least definition, for claymation?
For claymation,
yes.
Claymation was coined back in the late 70s by Will Vinton.
Oh.
And the term claymation is a cross between clay and animation. And at first, the company was very, very small, based in Oregon, where Will lived for a number of years. And at first it was very, very small, and it got into doing commercials.
Wow.
And that's its main form of income, which is doing commercials. You guys probably remember, you audience listening out there, you guys remember the California Raisins?
I remember it, Celia.
Yes,
I remember
that was definitely claymation.
Oh.
And perhaps you remember, maybe our younger audiences also remember the talking M&Ms.
Oh, no,
And that's definitely claymation.
Oh.
The talking Clorox bottles that used to come on.
Oh, Celia.
That's also claymation.
Celia, I have to interrupt you. You know what?
What?
When I was a little boy, when I was really young, I used to have a little California raisin with a little microphone, and my parents bought it for me. And I used to have it up on my dresser, and I used to have it on counter and stuff, and now I think it's worth something, don't you think?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
They're world renowned for the California raisins.
That's right, and not to mention, I was born in that state, and I think you remember that, don't you?
No, you didn't tell me.
You didn't know?
I knew.
Oh.
I knew about it.
Well, publicly now, after all these years, everyone, Celia finally realizes I was born in Southern California. Oh, Celia. Well, that's interesting. Celia.
I also did some work with Michael Jackson in his music videos.
Oh.
Walter Murch decided early on that he wanted to do his supervillain of the picture, which was the Gnome King.
Oh.
wanted to take a different approach with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the books, you notice that the Gnome King is illustrated sort of to look like he's sort of air. He's sort of wispy, and Dorothy describes him as looking like Santa Claus, but a different color. But he decided, since he was going to create a supervillain for the picture, that it would look more menacing to the audience. So he contacted Will Benton, probably in about 1984.
Yes.
And he said, I've seen your work, and I really want to employ your services here, because I need a supervillain, and I'm convinced that your work holds the key.
Huh.
And so Will Benton said, sure. And Return to Oz became
don't worry
the
about
first
that.
movie about to use claymation in a live-action movie.
Yes.
The first one. So that was pretty big for the company. And so Will Benton said yes, and he employed his dozens of animators on this picture. You might be familiar with one of the animators. His name is Craig Bartlett. He did a show for Nickelodeon called Hey Arnold.
Oh. Okay.
And yeah, he was the creator of that. But
I've
he
heard
worked
it.
on parts of the Gnome King.
Oh.
So that was early vintage Craig. And I also had the good fortune of coming into contact with claymation animator Doug Aberley.
That's right, yes.
And he let me know some of the secrets of how the Gnome King was killed, because he animated that entire sequence.
Wow, and I kind of know him as well, and I've heard some things from him given to me too. So Celia knows him far more much than I do, but I know him slightly. So yeah, that's interesting. Now, I do want to mention, and I know this isn't anything to do with the claymation, but I think you should answer this, because you vaguely mentioned it in another program, and I really think it should be addressed. I think we may have even mentioned this in the third week program, but this is what it is. Has there been officially published sheet music from Return to Oz at all? Hasn't it been officially published or available to the public?
Not that I know of, unfortunately.
I see. So there was never a songbook.
No, I've been looking for one for so many years, and I really can't find any. The interesting thing was, when Doug first contacted me, it was because he needed the music score. And since I had a CD copy, and I had burned it to my computer, he contacted me about getting the files from the score. And so that was really funny that he was asking me for it.
Oh, boy. Ridiculous.
Because I had assumed up to that point that everybody on the cast and crew could have gotten like a free copy of it.
That's ridiculous. Why did they contact
you? He asked me for the files. And at the time, I was still on dial-up.
Uh-oh.
So it literally took all day to send him all the files, especially the 9th track, which is over 6 minutes long. But that was the track that he wanted the most, since it actually was the sequence that he animated.
Yes, that's right.
So he wanted that very badly.
Wow.
Because he heard that David Shire had scored his music and got the animation from Doug's animation to score that piece.
Man, wow. How many people of you in America know that, you guys? I never knew that. And I'm telling you, I honestly believe it, and I know, I have to say for a fact, I hope I can say for a fact, that this information that you guys are hearing, this weekly program series on this movie, Return to Oz, you're not hearing this from Disney publicly. You're not hearing this. You're only hearing this from Celia Foster. She has been restoring this movie now since she was a 16-year-old little girl on southern area, northern Texas area. So, and I don't say little girl, but teenager, young teenager.
Right, teenager.
So, as was 16 back in Michigan. So, anyways, I think that's great. I really think all of you are listening to rare facts, things I don't think have been released publicly or whatever by Disney or another company. I think what you guys are hearing from us are facts and knowledge and information on this movie that you're not going to get anywhere from Disney. You're not going to hear it on a DVD from Disney because you all know what has been published by Disney and with Return to Oz and the DVD. And you guys, professionally speaking from Disney and Disney, if you guys are listening, I'm sorry, but and don't feel for you, just feel it for the fans that Disney ain't giving you nothing because Disney is only giving you a couple of trailers and a little documentary, which is just first of all explaining things, which is very good and very informative, it's a great to listen to. But you're getting a lot more from Celia, and I credit her. You're not getting a lot from me. I say myself slightly. I'm sharing brief info, but you're getting your info, behind the scenes information on the movie to score everything from Celia, and you will not find it. We know from Disney, you will not find it at all. I have to keep referencing it because the MGM Wizard of Oz movie, has gone out in great lengths in recent months and times by Warner Brothers to publicize and put out some great stuff. But people, you will not get any better high quality professionalism and on facts and research and knowledge on Return to Oz publicly in audio display than you will from Celia Foster. And I have to say that. You're welcome, Celia, because I'm not speaking out of turn and I'm not speaking like I don't know, and the research wasn't done because the research has been done by Celia Foster. I'm so close, and I say this publicly, all of you out there listening, that I'm so close to, upon my site, to naming Celia an official by my site, Return to Oz historian, because when you announce something like that and you have a name beforehand and then say official, you are naming officially upon that company. For example, we could say Celia is officially pronounced by the Walt Disney Company, official Return to Oz historian. That would be named by Disney. But I can say, I'm saying publicly right now that I am naming officially with my website, videosforfamily.com, Celia Foster, official Return to Oz historian. And I'm telling you right now that publicly because I want you to know. Because, everyone, you will not hear any more detailed behind-the-scenes facts and trivia on the internet than you will hear at this program. And there's some things on the Internet Movie Database which are good, but you will not hear anything this detailed and great, of interest.
And some of the facts on Internet Movie Database are unfortunately erroneous.
Exactly, and some of them are flat out, not right, or to be fake. And maybe at one time they were. And let me just say, and I have to say, and we may have brief mention, but everyone knows Alan Newcomer is on with me with Videos for Family and with Celia Foster and Jamie Dodds. And Alan Newcomer and I were down in Florida a few weeks ago. And to just make a long story short, I was down in Florida at Magic Kingdom to go on rides and to visit. And I knew personally I wanted to find up somewhere around there were some artifacts from the Return to Oz movie, which was the emblem. And the Internet Movie Database stated that they were there. Well, me and Alan were looking, and I was trying to find it, and I said, I'm not going to look anymore. I'm going to call the wonderful, exciting, young, talented expert named Celia Foster. And I called her. After a little bit, she called me back, and she tried to tell me from a good friend of hers who she knows who searched for them. And so I went down to talk to somebody at the ride. I walked right down there. There was a lot of people. And I said, listen, I spoke to a friend of mine. I don't even think I mentioned your name, Celia, but I said I need to locate it. And they really couldn't have any information.
They just weren't there.
They weren't there. So I say that because, bring it back to Celia. Celia gives the correct, accurate information. She researches, and though she's not John Fricke, she's like a little John Fricke, You think about it, you're like a little John Fricke, although you're a young lady, and which is proper, and I will say that in John Fricke's ways of going, you're the same thing, but your name is Celia Foster, and you restore the movie Return to Oz by Disney, not The Wizard of Oz by Warner Brothers. Right. So, I think I've said enough about that. So, Celia, why don't you go ahead and say everything before people wonder if I'm going to name you, official president historian.
Okay, well, getting back to the Gnome King and the gnomes.
Yes.
And how they were animated. I don't think most people realize that claymation is what's called stop motion animation. And what that means is that you take a camera and you film the clay puppets. But you have to do it frame by single frame by single frame. So, in doing it in frames, it's not even in seconds. It's like hundredths or tenths of a second. So filming an entire frame is it's about a second long. It would take them, like one guy who was animating the Gnome King, as he was coming out of the wall, and becoming a little bit more human. It was the stage 2 Gnome King, where you could only see Nicole Williams's blue eyes, and he came out of the wall a little bit. That guy was only able to accomplish about 10 frames a day.
Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. You are... I'm dying. I don't know about all of you, but I am dying to go to Barnes & Noble one of these weeks and pick up #1 bestseller, Returning to Oz, a documentary and detailed historical fact and information by Celia Foster. And then at the bottom it will say, with slight information by Aaron Passantine. Wouldn't that be interesting? People, I hope that, and all of you listen, I hope you all think that would be interesting, or at least to have a book just written by Celia Foster with great photographs and ongoing history, and mention that she had her first appearance in Greenville, South Carolina, talking about the movie. Wouldn't you all like that? I hope all of you would. Wouldn't you like that too, Celia?
Oh, definitely.
Yes, I can see it now. Gold lettering that says, my name. No. Gold lettering that says your name.
Right.
Bold lettering that says my name. No. I would give you the credit on books. I mean, you have to give all your credit on your books that you would give.
Yeah.
So, but that.
And I do plan to write a book about the movie.
Yes, I hope you can do it soon and work on it, because you have the great knowledge, and even the knowledge from our radio programs that we're doing at this time currently in our new show that we've started several weeks ago. You can gain the knowledge and wisdom to listen back on that for a reference, which I think would help. And please comment on that.
Yes, well, I think Disney has had for a long time the opportunity to do such a DVD. Disney has had the opportunity, many times, to do a special edition DVD of this with commentary by Walter Murch. And he has actually been available for this. And he's had making of material that he was willing to give, but they didn't actually publish. So Disney has all this available, but they they have not chosen to do this, and I think that it's time that we demanded this to happen.
That's right, and I couldn't agree with you more, Celia. It needs to officially come by Disney, but, I think everybody, you all know, I'm not going to mention again about Celia being a historian, but you will know that a commentary, and of course a DVD on Return to Oz that has some good exclusive material needs to happen, and Celia makes it known through her site very much. I do as well. And but now we are officially going to be making, which I'm sure will be the first official complete audio public commentary on Return to Oz, and we will be bringing that to you very soon with the first one we will be doing, which and we'll be bringing the special audio commentary of Return to Oz. So it'll be very exciting.
So we would encourage you to, in the near future, go back to our sites and look for this audio commentary and come experience the magic and wonder and the world of pure imagination that is Return to Oz.
Absolutely.
With commentary by myself and Aaron Passington.
Yes, absolutely. It will be an excitement and a joy for you all to listen to. And if you play the DVD and listen to our commentary, you'll sure to have a special treat in store for you. Well, this is Aaron Passington.
And this is Celia Foster.
Thank you for listening.